County, and you're thinking like Sun City Center over in Hillsborough County. You're thinking other types of senior dominated facilities. That is going to be good. And the thing you come back to is, we talk about protecting the people that are most vulnerable. That cannot mean that you just isolate vulnerable people and not let them also enjoy life. And so we thought long and hard about that with the visitation for the nursing homes. So we introduced that over a month ago. I'm pleased to say that the infections in nursing homes have declined dramatically. It's probably a reflection of the decline in the community. But being able to give those folks the ability to reunite and be there in person with family members is a huge part of health. It's a huge part of why these folks enjoy life and want to do that. So it's really, really significant that as we're doing these tests, we're not just going to do them. And quite frankly, we built a huge apparatus here in Florida, but it was basically just, hey, anyone wants to test. Wasn't always necessarily a method. I think there's going to be a good method to it. Obviously, you use it to try to identify infection, particularly in congregate living environments. Going to be very important. But I think you can also use it so that folks who may be more vulnerable are able to enjoy life to the fullest. So, for example, if you have a senior who would like to have younger family members come, these will be available. I mean, this is a 15-minute deal. You can do that. So it really lets people, I think, do more and really be a part of life. And I think the response has got to recognize that component. We did it with the visitation. I think these tests, that will also be a component. Just think you could have different senior events where if you want to test, you could even test a group of people who are going to get together if you wanted to be safe and have the ability to do it. So I'm excited about that. We also, the other priority after the vulnerable population is going to be for schools. So if you have somebody, a kid, a student that has symptoms, obviously they're going to be pulled out of class. Right now, we're in a situation where they would likely be isolated. They would get a test, it gets sent away to a lab, and there's some lag time. The problem with that is, well, one, we want the student and the parent to know as soon as possible, but two, some schools are isolating people that may have been in contact. So these are people who are not showing symptoms, and a lot of parents have been frustrated, I think rightfully so. What I think this does is, if you have that student who starts developing symptoms, they can be obviously taken out, they can be given this test, and then we'll know within 15 minutes whether it's COVID or not. If it's not COVID, then you should not, by any means, isolate any healthy students. Now, I personally think that the isolation there, I think a lot of school districts are doing good. I know there have been some that did a lot. And I think that they'd just be as targeted as possible. But I think this will be really good for that. And so this way, because kids get sick for a whole bunch of other things except coronavirus. In fact, I mean, you're going to see a lot of traditional seasonal illnesses that they do and pass, and things are going to be fine. But we do want people to know, and we don't want to send people home before we can. So this is, I think, really, really important. And I'm excited when the White House was asking me, how do you want this done? Do you want us to you tell us where to send it and then we'll do it, or do you guys just want to get the shipment to you and then you do it? And I thought about it, and because they're already doing the long-term care, that's a huge component of what we would do. But I was like, I think that it's probably the best to work out of Jared's operation, because they do this every day with the logistics. This is basically they do it every day. And so we'll be able to get it to where I think it needs to go. So focusing on all seniors and then focusing on schools. But if you put it in perspective, we're going to be getting 400,000 of these tests a week. Now, we have had some